So Anthem's 1.1.0 patch has just released, and it does have a sizable chunk of new stuff for us. However, some of you will realize and probably note in the comment section below that the April update didn't exactly have everything that was on the roadmap, missing some key features like the guilds, a new mastery system, and of course, the leaderboards. However, despite all of that, there is a significant chunk of new stuff for the game that'll at least keep you busy for maybe a week or two. But let's dive in. What's going on, all of you fantastic freelancers? My name is William, and as I said before, in today's video we are going to be looking at the big overarching things that came with this update. Not so much looking at every little small nook and cranny, but the big stuff that you all need to be aware of. First and foremost, we do have the Sunken stronghold right behind me. We played it this morning, and oh my god, was it a good time. I do have a video that will be going up very soon, or may have gone up before this video, I'm not 100% sure. That is just pure, unedited, uncommentated gameplay. The Sunken does have a lot that separates it from the other strongholds. Now, it is possibly the longest stronghold, I will give it that, and it does have a lot of cool new features though, such as puzzles, and the level design is unparalleled by any other stronghold. The thing is, like I said, it is a longer stronghold, so you'll probably want to stick to Tyrant Mine or the Temple of Scar if you want to just bulldoze through to get legendaries on GM3. The gameplay behind me is indeed GM3. The only complaint I do have about the stronghold is the final boss, which I won't show, is it does take a long time to kill. It's kind of like the Monitor in a way. Doesn't make it any less fun, but it is like the Monitor. A lot of health, really tanky, and the same moves over and over again. However, I will note that as it gets lower and lower on health, it will make its tracking systems on its heat-seeking missiles, or heat-seeking energy missiles, a bit stronger, and a bit more accurate with its tracking. This is a nice little change that was added, and it is the added ability to select contracts from the Start of Expedition screen, rather than going back to the individual contract boards in Fort Tarsis or the launch bay, which I really do appreciate. I haven't personally experienced that yet, but I mean, that's a nice little added feature, saves you from running all over the fort, picking up missions. What's also really nice is I know they're trying to streamline a couple things, such as getting back into the field as soon as you're done with another mission, so you don't have to go to the fort or whatever and have to restart it. So they've added the ability to launch a new mission from the End of Expedition screen without having to return to Fort Tarsis or the launch bay. They have also added the ability to access the Forge during missions, strongholds, and free play. So now you can change out your gear without having to return to Fort Tarsis or the launch bay. And I am a huge fan of this. Back during development, I remember tweeting out to Mark Dara and asking, hey, why can't we have the ability to switch out our weapons while in the field, or even go back to our striders while we're out in free play to change out our weapons? And I mean, kind of a shrug of the shoulders. I mean, you won't be able to change your entire loadout, I don't think. Honestly, I haven't experimented with this yet, but at least we will be able to change out some stuff. I'm willing to bet, I don't know, but I don't think we're going to be able to switch between loadouts while we're in the field. This is also pretty great if you are testing out those new builds and you're not quite sure about an ability, so you don't have to go all the way back to the fort to change out the ability to make a more synergized build. There were also some new universal masterwork components added, such as extended sniper magazine, which is kind of self-explanatory. It adds specialized storage for enhanced sniper rifle ammunition, and it increases the base damage of each sniper rifle by 30%. And it also increases the max mag size of the sniper rifles by a significant amount. I haven't seen how significant, but I need it for my Truth of Tarsis more than anything else. The next two are the Rapid Hollow Points and Extended Special Arms Magazine. So the Rapid Hollow Points is essentially adding specialized ammo storage for machine pistols and autocannons, increasing its damage by 30% and increasing its weak point damage of machine pistols and autocannons. And then the Extended Special Arms Magazine is pretty much like the sniper rifle. It adds specialized storage ammo for the heavy pistols and grenade launchers, increases damage by 30%, and increases the maximum mag size of the capacity of the heavy pistols and grenade launchers by a significant amount. There is a nice little Cortex edition, which is adding the primer and detonator icons on gear entries. That's pretty nice, I suppose. Now, this has been plaguing me for the last 3 weeks since I want to say 1.0.2, or maybe 1.0.3, I don't know. It's been plaguing me for a while now, but it resolves an issue where players were being kicked back to Fort Tarsis when loading into quick play missions. God bless. They've also added TSS, which is speech-to-text, and TTS, which is text-to-speech, to all platforms. Now, there were some pretty significant buffs as detailed in the gameplay balance adjustments, and you all may have already experienced some of these. For example, the Retaliation of Geratus has an increased bonus damage from 200% to 400. Rolling Carnage has an increased bonus from 50% stacking at 3 times to 83.33 stacking 3 times. The Last Stand increases its bonus from 200% to 225. And the Fist of Stroll, thank God, increases bonus damage from 10% stacking 10 times to 16% stacking 10 times. So basically a 60% increase to the damage of that weapon. Unending Battle has its bonus increase from 110% to 135. Death from Above, the Guardian Marksman Rifle, has increased bonus damage from 65% to 235%. Wow. And now Wyvern Blitz might actually be a viable and usable weapon thanks to an increased bonus damage from 40% to 185. Those last two are whopping variables and I could not be more thrilled about them. I'm still trying to get a legendary Death from Above, but we'll see. There were a few changes to the masterwork gears. For example, the Colossus' Fist of Judgment has an increased damage from 35% to 55%, and the Fist of the Crucible Flamethrower, oh my god, has increased bonus damage from 12% 10 times to 24% 10 times. So basically double the damage. Oh my god, I'm looking forward to equipping my Fire Colossus, my Flame Wall, and going after it. The Interceptor has increased Venom Bomb damage from 100% to 202.5%, and Ruthless Stalker, the Searching Glaive, is up from 60% to 110. And lastly, Bitter Harvest, oh my god, my Grenadier build just got so much better, has increased bonus damage from 60% to 110. The Ranger got some minor increases, such as its Frost Grenade from 235 to 270% damage, and the Avenger's Boon Pulse Blast going from 210 to 220. I think that's the smallest buff on the list. And the Storm got some pretty neat bonus upgrades, such as Ponder Infinity going from 60% to 165%, so well over double the increased damage, and Chaotic Rime, which are Frost Shards, went from 125 to 250. I'd say that's a pretty significant upgrade. Not that Frost Shards ever did much damage to begin with, but hey, that's still pretty great. Now, there are some other great improvements, such as projectiles, and we've been asking for this for ages. So if you were standing in the way of my, I don't know, wrist rocket on the Ranger, it would detonate on you or blow up on you and I would be pretty pissed off at you. Well, now it'll pass right on through you, so yeah, now all friendly player projectiles now should be able to pass through all Javelins on your squad. And the last thing on the gear improvements, I know a lot of you Colossus mains have been asking for this. I've been asking for it pretty significantly. The Colossus now has firewall mortars that will effectively and efficiently create the firewalls. So you're not looking forward to maybe 65% of the time it's spawning and the other not so much, which is a great improvement. Status effects and combos have gotten a pretty decent change in of themselves, which I've already noticed inside the stronghold that I played this morning. There's now been a delay when players and creatures are frozen, and when the visual effect is applied has been reduced to improve readability of the status effect. And if a player applies a status effect that now already exists on a target, but the new status effect has higher damage than the existing one, the damage will now scale to the higher value. And the last two are players who prime targets for combos will now see the combo text when detonated by another player. Not the biggest deal in the entire world, but I'm for it. And lastly, there is an increase to the damage of the electric status effect when applied to creatures. Moving on to the Titans. We don't see Titans too terribly much to begin with, and maybe a few lessers roaming around every now and again. But they fixed the issue where I know many of you experienced this with the There Be Giants event, where the fireball would come at you and you would successfully dodge it, but it would hit you anyway. Yeah, I've experienced that more than once. And they fixed the issue where the Titans would not use all of its available attacks. I've had several Titans just do the heat-seeking fireballs, not the fire waves or the chest beam. And there was one pretty significant storm change, which I have been complaining about for a little while now. The Storm Shield has now effectively gotten its 20% defensive upgrade, or it's acting like it should. Previously, if you were in the air, your shield would be about as useful to you as if you were on the ground and walking around. Now there's a 20% debuff. I think there should be a little bit more for the Storm, maybe 30 or 40%, but what do you all think about that? Lastly, we have text descriptions for the inscriptions for your weapons that changed, which I'm pretty all for them. They updated critical damage to weak point damage in any text descriptions, updated impact damage to kinetic damage in any description, updated impact resistance to kinetic resistance, and they corrected the formatting on the inscription values for overheat delay recovery, thruster delay recovery, and weapon reload speed, as they no longer have those stupid plus and minus values. No idea what they were thinking with that. There were a couple other changes that I did skip over, mainly because they're not as impactful and you probably wouldn't even notice them if I read them off to you. Oh, what? That was an issue? Hadn't known about it. Or, oh wow, that was a minor thorn in my foot. Barely noticed it. So, anyways, that is about the summary of everything that came with this patch. I thought it was a pretty good patch, despite it not having the 3 big things that were promised in the roadmap. Then again, like I said in a previous video, they do have that little disclaimer at the top saying they can and will change things as needed. But anyways, what do you all think of this update? What are you looking forward to experiencing the most, aside from the Sunken? Let me know in the comment section below, as I really do read through all of your comments and respond if there's conversational potential. And if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on all things about your game, Anthem, then please feel free to leave a like on this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell, as it really does help me out more than you guys can imagine, and I really do appreciate it. A special and monumental thank you to my patrons for all their generous donations and support, along with my channel members. I'm still getting a few things worked out. We're having some issues. We recently partnered up with TGN to cover Anthem for the network, and for whatever reason, we've had a couple issues with patrons and channel members, getting them listed and notified. It's complicated. Anyways, thank you all so much for your donations and support. And lastly, I hope all of you fantastic freelancers have a phenomenal day as always, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next video very soon. And remember, freelancers, we are strong alone, but we are stronger together.